All right, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at in the world. This is Frank Spicer, CEO and co-founder of Metafied, one of your co-hosts of Metafied Spaces. With me, you've got co-founder Matt Cross and Big Worm, our COO, Sergio Tutora. Also, you have our trusty mod, Roaming Crypto. And, today's a pretty big day. We're going to go through some details about the partnership with DogeOS, take some questions. Just to let's check in. How you doing, Matt? What's going on?
Hey, doing good today. We had a little in-person lunch. We got to meet our intern, take him out, got to see some of the other team members. So we're rocking and rolling today.
Yeah. What's up with you, Worm? How you doing?
Yeah, same. Got to see our intern and Matt Cross at lunch today. We did not have pizza today, even though it's a Bitcoin Pizza Day. So happy Bitcoin Pizza Day! But we had a good lunch and it was good Metafight get together.
What did you guys have?
We had some barbecue.
What kind of what kind of stuff did you get?
So we had some brisket, some pulled pork, and some smoked wings as well.
Had some ribs, cornbread in there too. It's good.
Nice. Wire Mill Barbecue in Reading, Connecticut, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, it was great.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say it's like an 8.
Okay.
Definitely higher than Dubai chocolate. And Matt, thanks for bringing back some Dubai chocolate for me from Token 2049.
Oh yeah,
definitely ranks higher than that chocolate. I'd say it's a solid 8 for me.
Like I was gonna say, like I said to you guys, my kid told me the Dubai chocolate tastes like chicken. So I don't know what that means, or there's something wrong with them, but it wasn't impressive to him. So
I think it tastes better when you see it on Instagram.
Yeah. I give it a 1 out of 10 because I was like, all the effort it takes to source them, and you have to get like a lottery ticket and deliver it through the certain app, was not worth the effort.
Yeah. So game testing's been going great for Surge. We announced the partnership with DogeOS on Tuesday Spaces, and the community reacted accordingly. Almost all positive. So I'm kind of looking forward to just digging into some questions. I think it's probably the right thing to do is let's get Roaming in here. Let's get his take on the community's temperature, and then let's jump right into and answer as many questions as you have. If we exhaust the questions, then we can talk about future stuff. But I want to make sure we cover all the really pressing stuff that the community has to ask.
Wicked. Awesome. Great to be here, guys. Frank, I hope you've had a couple of cups of coffee today and are ready for tonight, because I've got a lot to throw at you. The community's been buzzing since the announcement on Tuesday. There's obviously been a lot of questions to better understand what the path forward is from here. But I think we're all excited. We've already had a bunch of the Doge guys jump in to the community as well. We're celebrating a bit of Bitcoin Pizza Day together on X. There's still some chance to get involved in that as well, so make sure you check it out. But yeah, super excited for the path forward and the collaboration here. We're already seeing some of the impact of it, which is super exciting. I'm ready for me to throw
I'm about as ready as we can get. So, but I'm gonna probably call Matt and Serge out of the bullpen to help on this one too. So, hit me. Let's see what we got.
Cool. I will start off a little bit bigger picture for you, and then we can get into the gritty stuff. So one of our brand new members, Mong Man, wants to know, what are the long-term goals of Metafied?
Oh, okay. Much question.
Wow.
Very well. Okay. All right. So I'll give you the broad strokes because I don't want to give too much away. But the first thing is we're going to get the Spot and Surge into the market, right? We're going to do BTC, ETH, and Doge. I think we're going to run games on all of those, predicting those assets. We're going to introduce prediction games through the same games that we're launching. We're going to let people play probably the Magnificent Seven equity stocks: Facebook, Tesla, Amazon, Google, Apple. I forget which other one. Amazon. Did I name that? Anyway, the Magnificent Seven stocks. Microsoft. Thanks. Um, and then basically probably mix in a few commodities as well, because I think there's a lot of signal that people can bring to those markets too. So launch those. I'm not going to explain the mechanism by which we're going to do it, but we're going to stand up a derivatives exchange based on some of the things that are the outputs of our games. We're going to put together a product that lets people take part in the upside of the trades that we're making from the signals that we're getting. So we're going to let people share not just in the game winnings, but also the output of some of the trades that we're executing. And then we will also either continue down the hedge fund path where we're partnering with a bunch of hedge funds to deliver winning signals, or possibly create a type of fund of our own. And should we do that, and we would like to figure that out, we want to make sure that our community will have a chance to get involved in, if not ownership of it and possibly ownership of it, a way to share in the upside for that. So if you look out, 2 years from now, we will have an exchange, a derivatives exchange based on the types of predictions that we're doing, and then a fund to basically help capture the gains from some of these signals. And I think at some point down the road, we'll either partner or form our own stable token and insurance project. And if you wrap them all together, what we hope to achieve by this is sort of a way to act on the financial system through these new types of signals and AI technology that brings the yield back to the people participating in that financial system. And it's not one of those things where you're just whoever's closest to the power and to the people with college buddies that went to an elite institution, maybe where your friend lends you money at the London International Banking overnight rate, LIBOR window for the folks out there, and then you turn around and lend it to someone else for no merit whatsoever. Instead of going that route, I think we add value to the system and then return it to the people helping us build that value. So that's the long-term plan of Metafied. And the idea being, if the financial markets are accountable to people and people still have a say and are actually driving signal to them, then you won't get a world where people are just making money off starting wars and being able to easily manipulate and predict the outcomes of things. There should be a market for the wants and needs of the everyday person. And then there should be an easy, fun, low friction way to participate in that so you can get involved, so that the world doesn't turn into just clinical AI predictions and manipulated assets. So that's the long-term goal. And we're going to keep running until somebody tries to make it till we get stopped. And if we don't get stopped, we're just going to build that world.
Wow. Much wow.
You asked, new guy. I hope that did it for you.
Yeah, and I'll throw one in there too as well. In a simpler form, right now there's a massive distribution of wealth going on, and it looks like AI has the potential to level out the playing field. So one of my goals is to make our community as wealthy as possible so that we can all do these activities and have real decentralized finance in the future.
Yep, that's right.
Wow, cool. Awesome. Okay. So love the vision, love the dream, love where we're going. Let's pull that in. And Ace, who we all love and know, wants to know, what are the short-term goals of Metafied?
I like that question too. So the short-term goals are let's get integrated with DogeOS. Let's link our communities and marketing and have a lot of fun building these experiences together, and understand what makes people get up and say, hey, I really want to stay involved with that. So just listen to the people that we're dealing with and give them a way to earn earn rewards and earn value from being a participant in that system. And then somewhat near term is to get our token into the market the best way possible so that our community doesn't get dumped on, so that we don't get an unfair deal from an exchange or some market maker. Get the token out in a way that is fair to the people who have given Signal and given the community its momentum so far. So we're pretty close to being able to do that as well too. So I think that can be classified as sort of near term. But essentially, this is the best part of building a company and building a culture is we get to do fun stuff, and we don't necessarily have to wear suits and stay buttoned up, and we can be serious about what we're doing but have fun doing it.
Yeah, and I guess
Amazing. Yeah.
I'll pile on to that one in terms of staying true to our values that we set out end of last year, and that is create a really great product that's fun, that we can all be proud of, and also to invest and embrace in this great community, in our new friends at Doge, that community as well, and make sure we're listening to all of you and that you're all there for the ride, and that you feel like you're adored by us, because you are.
Yeah. Thanks, Worm.
Okay.
All right, Roman, what you got, man?
So next one to throw at you. Let's go with Nil, another one of our strongest community members. He says, I always trust every choice of the team. I'm just a little curious. Can you share the reasoning for choosing DogeOS as a destination?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. The reason we chose DogeOS and the team and the community within Doge at large is it's a group of people who understand crypto and Web3, but have come at it from a way that, look, we want to enjoy ourselves. We don't want to be, we don't want to be trapped in some system. We want to be voluntarily connected to it. That was the number one driving factor. It's a community formed of voluntarism where people have chosen to be associated with each other. And it's a kind of a loose, vibrant community where people are in it because they want to be, not in it because they have to be. And like that kind of thing fit really well with the way we do things. And so we said, look, we could go for the pure technical case, or we could go for the pure sort of like a finance chain or something like that. But instead, what we opted for was permanent culture, where we can build. Essentially, if you look at the way company communications work now, it's like it's either top down, sort of manufactured gibberish, if you'll call it that, or it's like an organic back and forth decentralized way of doing things. And those conversations are sort of mimetic. So they're basically like you take a concept, turn it into a meme, distribute it through the company. I mean, just look at the way we got involved with Stompy, right? Like it started off as me saying that, I didn't care if I made $1 billion, but I wanted to have, a sanctuary with the most giraffes in it. And that would be a way I could measure success. And somebody took that and turned it into a meme. And then a couple months ago, Dilly posts a meme of me recreating the Vladimir Putin horse thing on the back of a giraffe with no shirt. And for some reason, which I still can't get over or abide by, jean shorts. But essentially they made a meme out of it. And, we speak to each other in memes in the company too. Like, if anybody ever seen the Ace Vane where, Darkseid visits Superman and Superman sort of points out he's not wearing sleeves. We like to point out that each other aren't wearing sleeves every chance we get. And I want to say Serge has it within his employment contract that he is not required to wear sleeves. So we speak to each other in memes. I mean, wouldn't you say so, Matt? Like it's a perfect cultural fit for what we're trying to do. And I think the resistance to the status quo needs to have a cultural element.
I agree. I would say a big part of this is what I always like to say is seriously fucking around, SFA. And what that means is we're very serious about the work we do, but we have to go out there and test the waters, see what works, and then we apply that into this company today, and it's brought us a ton of success. And a lot of this decentralized finance relies on a strong community of believers and people who are willing to oppose an existing system and build something better that serves the people. And we found that type of mentality in the Doge ecosystem. And I was really happy because I did find that start to drift away in the last couple of years. And crypto's been full of a ton of grifters, but we're bringing it back to the original purpose.
Yeah, and just to extend that, if anybody has looked up my previous history, I started a company called Social Flow, which grew to be the world's largest distributor of media, and our customers were, Associated Press, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, BBC, Al Jazeera, Reuters, and like I watched what the news became, and also how sometimes the news that the people were saying what the news wasn't exactly what they were served with, and I started to notice that there's the way that world works, and it can be used against you. You could gain momentum. You could be in a strong project, but if somebody comes out and says something marginally mean about you or whatever, we didn't want to be with the kind of community that just bailed out. What I would want for the community, and we would hope to do at Doge, if somebody comes out and talks shit about us now, I expect to see them memeified and ridiculed into existence at some point if they're wrong. And if we're wrong, then we deserve what we get. But if we're doing the right thing and we're building this together, then this is the kind of people you get down with, because they're going to go out and have your back, and it's going to be hilarious to watch them get loose on these type of people. So we're building the kind of support behind us that when people sling mud at us, it's just going to look funny for them. So that was another key piece of it. So what else you got? What's next?
Yeah, cool. Okay. Rilmoji wants to know, he says he remembers funding being one of the considerations around the chain migration. Has there been any new funding secured, or are there any plans to raise more in the future?
Excellent question. We're actually about to, I believe, get the entire rest of our round sent to us within the next week here. So we think we're pretty good on funding. I will add, we didn't ask for, and DogeOS didn't offer a penny. We were offered stuff by other chains, and we turned them down. We did not ask for a single dime to move to DogeOS. All we asked for was cooperation in building what we're doing together. So combining community marketing efforts, stuff like that. We never got to the point where we were asking for money to do it. So we're okay on the funding front. We're good. I think we will probably go out and raise even more money because of the big plans I just described earlier in this call. And those are pretty big, heavy lifts. We're also working on regulatory, sort of protections here in my home state of South Carolina, and I think we're pretty close to getting it. So once those things sort of start to coalesce, we'll probably raise a really big A round, but it'll just be to scale the efforts and, to address some of the opportunities a little faster than we would have if we just grew organically.
And the CEO of DogeOS created the Doge wallet. And in that wallet, they have about 500K active daily users. And we know that we have a viral application. And if we can get that application distributed to those users, we'll have a massive network effect where it'll go out there and, grow on a much larger scale. And that's all we're really looking for, is to be able to serve that community and have it spread around to the mainstream afterwards.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think you answered my next question in that answer. Ace was asking, from an opportunity perspective, do they have users who will join us in the games?
They sure do. Yeah. I think we're going to be a little surprised by the influx of folks. And we obviously we're super bullish on the DogeOS community, but we're also working to do our part to bring new people into the system too. So Metafied will be embarking on ways to bring people in, and hopefully through their connection to us, wind up finding their way to the My Doge wallet and into the DogeOS ecosystem, because it's not good enough for me to just be a star app. I want to make sure that we're driving an immense amount of value, not just for the DogeOS deal, but for an example to crypto and Web3, that if you do this right, you can have fun doing it, you can change your life doing it, and you can change the way things work together. So we're not just going to sit here and chill and be like, all right, we're going to make a bag by doing this deal. We're doing this to come at it from ways like, all right, this is the point where we can pull on the lever and move the world a little bit to do the right thing. This is just the start. So we want to show to everybody we're going to carry our weight too.
Yeah, awesome, amazing. Okay, I'm going to keep these going at pace so we can get through them for you.
Mhm.
But I've got a few here, I guess, around the different time frames that come into play now that we've got this partnership with Doge. So Garonalandia is asking around when Surge will then become available to people if we're now working with Doge and waiting for them to come out of testnet, into testnet and then into mainnet. And Dams wants to know around the launch of the token and how the partnership with DogeOS affects the time frame of the token going live.
Okay, so those are two separate questions. I'm going to try to answer them. There's definitely going to be ways to participate prior to the general launch on the DogeOS network. We're going to have people continue to alpha test with us. We're going to stand up a beta test. Then we're going to port everything over, carry a beta test over an early pre-sale on the DogeOS network. So we'll run that. You'll be able to load into the game. You'll be able to acquire FIDE, and you'll have to keep it for a while. But then we'll set liquidity windows when you can come in and out of it shortly after. But the token itself, it somewhat depends on the partners within the DogeOS ecosystem. But I can definitely foresee a situation where we have so much demand on the on the app side and through the games that the pre-sale runs out, and then we wind up just having to list through centralized exchanges to just start. That might be the case. I don't want to do that, to be honest. Like, if we can avoid it, I want to have a true crypto launch, a decentralized launch. To me, it's almost not it's not valid until you succeed on a DEX. I think, for me, for what we're trying to do. And I'm not saying to make the most money, but to be the most fair to the most users, and do it in a way that, like, if you live someplace where you can't get a bank account, or you can't, as if you have a cell phone and a signal, you should be able to participate in it. Like, you should be able to acquire a small amount of FIDE, even if you don't have a driver's license. Like, even if you don't have a passport, like, you should be able to get some of it somewhere, somehow, and participate in what we're building, not having to get permission to do it. Which is why I say it's really important for us to be able to succeed on a DEX. Even if we sell 50 times more on centralized exchanges, like, it's not real to me until we win on a DEX. And so I want to help if we can do the right thing and help another My Doge project or DogeOS project succeed by having some of our trade happen there, then I want to make sure that we do everything we can to make that happen. So we're not going to wait too long, but we're going to try to thread the needle and make sure that we succeed as early as possible on the DEX.
Love it. To feed onto that, Miracle333 wants to know, is the success of FIDE now tied exclusively to the success of DogeOS?
No, it's not. but I'm comfortable that it will succeed. I think we wouldn't have picked it if we didn't consider it damn near a slam dunk. And if you look at the success of that community, the way they support the cool things that it's done culturally, I think we'd have to basically do something ridiculous to not have what we're doing succeed within that network. So, but it's not tied exclusively to there. We volunteered to do what we're doing with DogeOS. Like they didn't even require us to be exclusive. We just said we want to be. So we said we'll do it. But we in our testing we were able to port to other chains in 2 or 3 days. So if something happens, like for some reason, a comet hits every server that houses my Doge or DogeOS stuff, then we could get up and move. But I don't think that necessarily is something we want to do. And just because just because you're not technically tied to a chain doesn't mean you're not committed. It's one of those things where you can kind of do things out of loyalty, goodwill, and intention in this world. And I know that crypto is a way to solve for the people misusing those things, but I don't think that.
It's breaking up a little bit, Frank. Here, I'll jump in here for a second as your internet reloads into it. So one of the things as well is we'll use DogeOS as a base layer, but what we plan on doing is attracting users outside of the ecosystem and onboarding them into it. So we're going to have a really easy to use social login where anyone can come in with a Google account, an existing wallet, or just an email and be able to plug in and instantly onboard in about 1 minute. And so people who are maybe Web 2 or Web 2.5 adjacent, who have always wondered about these new social finance games, they'll have the seamless ability to start playing and interacting on DogeOS without even knowing that they're interacting on the DogeOS underlying layer.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'll add to that, Matt, like we'll have a way for them to, see kind of like earning points, like and kind of give them an idea of, how much they would actually win, right, if they had FID. So that way it'd be a nice smooth bridge. They can really get educated, learn how to play the game well, and then hopefully onboard, into the Web3 community.
Yep. And that's the $1 billion question always is how do you, bridge, the next billion users onto Web3? And it's making it as simple that your grandmother could understand how to use it. And that's our goal over here is, getting our mothers, our aunts, our parents and everything else to try out this application and have a really fun time using it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a killer area that so many projects talk about and have not yet managed to get there. And I think from what I've had a glimpse at so far, I'm really excited about the path forward and how that blurs the line potentially between that Web 2 onboarding and the Web 3 environment. Kudos to you guys for getting there.